Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm the Book Geek, also known as Kiava, and it's finally here. It's my favorite time of the year. Fall is approaching, which means spooky season is upon us, and I live for all things horror. I cannot wait for Halloween. I can't wait to see everybody's costumes and decorations, and I can't wait to decorate myself. I can't wait to read more spooky books and watch scary movies and cuddle up, and it is the best time of the year for me. I swear I live for this time of year. So I thought, what better time than now than to come on here and talk about some horror books that will be hitting shelves this fall. First up on the list is a book titled Find Him Where You Left Him Dead. Also, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. I'm looking at my laptop. This book says that it is like Jumanji, but Japanese inspired. So that piqued my interest right away. I love the movie Jumanji. In this story, some kids, they started a game and not all of them survived. And now at the end of their senior year of high school, they have all been reunited because they have been summoned by the ghost of the friend that did not survive. Next up is The Stranger Upstairs. First of all, look at the gorgeous colors on this book. It does not scream horror book to me. The cover is absolutely stunning. I love the pops of pink. I love the colors. So this therapist slash self-help writer slash blogger buys this home. She got a pretty good deal on it, and the reason for that is because it's a murder house. Something terrible happened in this house, but she believes that she can renovate this and fix it up, and she thinks that that's going to make for very good content. But this all soon becomes a nightmare for her. Something is wrong in that house. I really love the cover of this next book. It is titled Crawling, and it is a horror anthology. I think this one might have some body horror in it because it says, prepare to witness grotesque metamorphoses that distort the human form, blurring the lines between flesh and monstrosity. Another great cover for this next one. It is titled Big Bad. It is part of the Creature Feature collection, and it is about a family trying to make an isolated farmhouse into their home, and a recent mudslide has forced the wolves out of the woods to look for food. So I think this might be a werewolf story. I'm not sure, or just them trying to survive against normal wolves that are hungry. As dusk falls and tensions rise, the family must come together to survive the night from the threats outside and those within. The next book is by Grady Hendrix. It is titled Ankle Snatcher. It is about a man who believed that his father killed his mother. He blamed it on the boogeyman under his bed, and his father always told him, leave the lights on or the boogeyman will get you. So basically this book is going to explore whether Marcus, this character, is actually haunted by a creature, or has he just inherited his father's murderous delusions. The next book is titled, I believe, The Pram, and is a short story horror book about fatherhood. A husband's obsessive desire for a child leads to an unexpected manifestation of his yearning in a nightmarish short story about fatherhood dreams. The next book is by Josh Malerman. It is titled It Waits in the Woods. There's an urban legend about a demon who walks on a bridge to nowhere, but it's more than just an urban legend for our main character because her sister has disappeared in these same woods. Brenda decides to venture into the woods to go after her because she's desperate for answers, yet terrified to find out what lies waiting on the other side of that bridge. The next one is titled In Bloom. I love the purple on this cover. It is by Paul Tremblay. He's one of my favorite authors. And it is a short story about something in the water, and it's supposed to be hallucinatory. So I'm guessing it's going to be pretty trippy. The next one is titled Black River Orchard. It's about a small town that is going to be transformed when 7 strange trees begin bearing magical apples. Basically, your cravings for these magical apples grow stronger and stronger until it consumes you. It seems as though this story is going to have some underlining themes of addiction and obsession, because these apples are supposed to make you stronger and more vital and more yourself and basically make you happier. And so you want to consume more of that, and people are doing it in excess. However, something else may be buried in the orchard besides the seeds of these extraordinary trees. So the next one is a young adult horror. It is titled The Changing Man. It is a debut novel, and it's about a teenage girl at a boarding school. She starts to notice that one of the students starts to act strange, and she's wondering if there's more going on at this boarding school than meets the eye. So she's going to eventually team up with some other classmates to investigate the strange occurrences. The cover of this next one is just gorgeous. It is titled And Then She Fell. It is a horror book about mental health and motherhood, and it follows a young indigenous woman who discovers the picture-perfect life she always hoped for may have horrifying consequences. The next one is a short story collection. It is titled Cold, Black, and Infinite. The next one is titled Wise Creatures. This is a young adult horror book about the haunting actually beginning with people. This next one is titled The Invisible World, and this is a horror centered around a paranormal investigation TV show. Apparently, a lot of strange activity is going to take place while they're on the job. The next book is said to be Haunting of Hill House meets found footage. This one is titled When Ghosts Call Us Home. This one has a really cool cover as well. It is titled Let Him In. There's just something so creepy about, a child saying that there's something or someone in their room, and that is what's happening in this book. A man wakes up to find his two daughters standing at the foot of his bed, claiming there's a shadowy figure in their room. Suddenly, they have this new imaginary friend. They set a place for him at the table. They're whispering to him, and this father is going to have to confront a part of his own past in order to overcome what is happening to his family. The next one is titled That Night in the Woods. In this book, a man named Scott invites some friends from his past to help honor someone else's memory. But these friends share a dark secret from their past, and now they're going to have to face that. The next one is titled Dust Bunnies from Hell. In this book, a girl thinks that her sister is possessed by a demon. She tries to do some ritual and it goes wrong. Now they're trapped inside their apartment building with a horde of bloodthirsty monsters. Everyone has been talking about this next one lately, and it is titled A Haunting on the Hill. This is just another rendition of A Haunting of Hill House. I love the cover of this next one. It is titled The Dead Take the A Train. This one says that it will be perfect for fans of Neil Gaiman and Joe Hill. So in this book, we have a woman named Julie. She is burnt out. She's been trying to work her way into New York City's magic scene, but things haven't been going exactly to plan. However, when her best friend Sarah shows up at her door in need of help, keeping her safe becomes her top priority. Something she does sets off a deadly chain of events that puts Sarah and the entire world directly in the path of annihilation. So this next one is titled The Night House. In this one, a boy claims that he witnessed someone get sucked into the receiver of a phone at a phone booth that's located by the edge of the woods. When another classmate disappears, he must find a way to prove his innocence and preserve his sanity. The next one is a horror anthology that I cannot wait to get my hands on. It is edited by Jordan Peele, and it is titled Out There Screaming, an anthology of new Black horror. That's all I need to know. I cannot wait to read this one, and I love the cover. This next one is titled Silent Key. A woman discovers that her husband was probably not the person that she thought he was, and she begins to uncover all sorts of mysterious and I'm pretty sure heartbreaking things. This next one is titled Let the Woods Keep Our Bodies. In this book, our main character, Leo, has a girlfriend who goes missing, and she is blamed for her disappearance. Now she must face painful truths and face whatever is hiding in the woods where Tate, her girlfriend, was last seen. Next, we have a book titled A Light Most Hateful, and it is described as Bunny Meets Stranger Things. In this book, a storm comes into this town and a monster comes along with it. Honestly, this next one I put on the list simply because of the cover. I think it is titled Brainworms. I think I'm saying that correct, just based on how this cover looks. Two women embarked on this relationship after one of them has suffered a tragedy and has been the victim of a hate crime. They hit it off, but one of them has a dark secret. This next one is titled Frostbite. I have been noticing that in horror lately, they have been using a lot of pinks and purples, and I love that because horror doesn't always have to be grungy. There can also be like bright colors involved in horror, and I just love it. And this next one, the cover of this next one, Frostbite, is amazing, and it's on this list because it mentions the 90s, the last great era. In this book, in this story, there is a town. They're living in the year 1997, but they don't remember the 90s because an alien worm hitched a ride on a comet, crash landed in the town's trailer park, and is now infecting animals with a memory loss inducing bite. Now, two characters have to team up and come together to try and stop these worms before the entire town loses its mind. This sounds like it should be a graphic novel. And with the look of this cover, it kind of looks like a graphic novel. It doesn't say that it is a graphic novel, but I definitely want to read it. This next book reminds me of like a Groundhog's Day, Edge of Tomorrow sort of deal where the day keeps repeating. It is titled The Last Day. In this book, a boy named Ronald has a dream that he went to his high school reunion. He woke up next to his old crush. He did a few other things throughout the day, and then a man with yellow eyes beats him to death. And now it's the morning after Ronald's high school reunion. He wakes up thinking about the dream that he had about the man with the yellow eyes beating him to death. Except everything is happening the way it did in his dream. He wakes up to his old crush, and she's talking about the same thing she was talking about in his dream. A plague of homicidal insanity is spreading across the world. It's the end of civilization, and Ron is reliving it over and over again. They always catch him. They always kill him. And he always wakes back up in that hotel room next to his old crush. I don't know. This one's just fascinating to me. I want to read it. Okay, this next one, gorgeous cover, and I've heard so much about this author, which is why I decided to put it on the list. It is titled Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. It is said to be a horror paranoia book, reminiscent of Rosemary's Baby and Salem's Lot. Hook, line, and sinker. This next one is titled The Reformatory. This novel is set in Jim Crow, Florida. We follow Robert as he's sent to a segregated reform school that is a chamber of terrors where he sees the horrors of racism and injustice for the living and the dead. The next one is titled Starling House, and this one is a gothic fantasy horror. A woman running away to find a better life for her and her younger brother stumbles across sinister forces and buried secrets at Starling House. This last one that I have here for you is a horror poetry collection. It is titled Under Her Eye. Magnificent cover, by the way. This is volume 2, and this is going to feature poems that revolve around the terror women experience in their own homes and domestic horror. All right, guys, so that is it. Those are all the fall horror books that I have to bring to you today. How many of these are on your TBR, on your radar? How many of these do you want to read or are looking forward to? I would love to know. Leave your comments down below. I'm gonna head on out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.